I wanted to cover Facebook strategies, specifically Facebook ads, talk about why we want to use Facebook, why it's beneficial, talk about some of the different types of ads on Facebook that we could get kind of familiar with them. Then I'll talk about my favorite strategy is remarketing, is what I use to make sure that I stay top of mind to people and that I continue to get a new pipeline of leads and keep my existing client or people that have heard about me, keep my services top of mind. So remarketing, really great strategy. And then we'll have some Q&A at the end. So if you have any specific questions, maybe just hold off to the end. But if you have anything about Facebook, let me know, and happy to dive into it. But today I really want to talk about more about just the Facebook ad side of thing, even though I usually don't talk about ads because I'd rather get you up there for free than paying. But ads from Facebook do have its place when used properly. There's a lot of different formats in ads on Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram, so there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of places you can run ads, a lot of types of ads, a lot of different types of ads, videos, images. You could do virtual reality, you could do immersive ads. There's a lot of things that Facebook offers in terms of ads because this is how Facebook makes all their money. So they're trying to offer as many different ways for you to advertise as possible. The more money you spend on ads, the more money Facebook makes, and the happier their shareholders are, because that's ultimately what it comes down to with Facebook is they need to make money, and this is how they make money. In the past, you could do Facebook marketing and do it without spending money on ads, but Facebook over the years has really become a pay-to-play platform, whereas if you want any visibility and any exposure, you really have to advertise. Because let's say you have 100 people that like your Facebook page, and you made the business page, you got 100 people that like your page. That's great, you got decent following. When you post on Facebook, in the past, all 100 people would see what you post. But nowadays, well, a few years ago, once Facebook went public, they said, no, we're not going to show you to everybody. We're just going to show you to like 50% of your audience. And then they made this little button that says boost this post up, a little blue button that if you have a Facebook business page or Instagram page, I'm sure everyone's seen that. That's how they make their money, is essentially you pay Facebook to show your content to the rest of your audience that already likes your content. So you have 100 people that like your content, only 50 of them would see what you post without you having to pay Facebook to show it to the other 50 people that like your content. Facebook started making a lot of money, so they realized, let's keep doing this. Let's drop it from 50% to 40%. So only 40% of the people that like your page would see your content. That worked well. They were making even more money, so they dropped it to 30%. That worked even better. Then they dropped it to 20%, then to 10%. I think right now it's 5% of the people that like your page on Facebook will ever see what you post without you having to advertise, boosting the post. So Facebook is really more of a pay-to-play platform. And that's why I want to talk about Facebook ads today. It's just because that's what Facebook has become over the years, is now it's just a pay-to-play platform. If you want any visibility and exposure, it's really tough. Even if you have big followings, you could go to celebrity pages that you look 5-10 years ago, they might have gotten thousands of likes on their posts. Now they're getting hundreds of likes. It's not because they're less popular. It's just because there's not much engagement, or Facebook's not showing it to your audience, so you're not getting that reach. So that's really why Facebook ads, that's what you need to do if you're trying to market yourself on Facebook and getting visibility. Unfortunately, building a following or building a page up with all these new likes is going to be a lot of work, because out of every 100 people, only 5 of them would ever see what you post without you still having to advertise with them. So in essence, Facebook really is a pay-to-play platform. That's the best way to do it nowadays. Unless you have a following and an audience, you could use that and capitalize it, but even then, it's so tough with little reach. The only way around that is Facebook groups. Joining Facebook groups seems to get a little bit more reach and engagement, but I talked about that in other classes, so I don't want to repeat myself for those people that have been to that class. If you again, search for my name, Brandon Leibowitz, you'll see my past classes on YouTube, and you can see the different ones that I put out there. So you go to sign up at facebook.com/business/ads. And this gives you access to Facebook ads. And also Instagram is part of Facebook. So you get a lot of options in terms of ads, what you can do with the ads, where you can place these ads. So sign up for Facebook, and that covers Instagram as well, because Facebook bought Instagram a few years ago, and Facebook is slowly doing what they did to Facebook to Instagram, where they're dropping reach, not as many people see your content. So Instagram is also going to become a pay-to-play platform in the future. Not yet, because Instagram has a lot of competitors. Instagram is competing at Snapchat and TikTok and all these other platforms. So Instagram isn't going to just drop their reach to 5% yet, but they will. If they continue to take over market share, they're going to do the same thing that Facebook is doing, because that's how they make a lot of money. You go on Facebook, your feed is full of ads. You go on Instagram, you get a few ads, but it's not as ad heavy as Facebook is right now. So just be aware in the future, having that presence on Instagram is going to be beneficial. Start it off now, grow it if you can organically, because it is going to drop and it's going to continue to drop. And with Facebook ads, there's a lot of different ways you can run these ads. You could do pay-per-click, meaning anytime someone clicks on your ad, you pay a certain amount. You could do pay-per-impression, CPM, cost per million, so cost per thousand impressions. So you could pay a bunch of different ways. Impressions means someone sees your ad. Doesn't mean they clicked it, it just means someone saw it. So you could pay for any time that someone sees it, anytime someone clicks it. If you have videos, you could do anyone that's viewed your video. A lot of different ways you could set these ads up, but pay-per-click is most common. PPC, pay-per-click. Same with Google Ads platform. Pay-per-click is the most common, but there are a lot of other ways out there to run ads. But pay-per-click is probably the one that I would focus on primarily, but everyone has different strategies. So it just depends on your ultimate goals and what you're trying to achieve and how you want to set those ads up. And one other thing about Facebook ads, though, is if you are on Facebook ads, or if you're on your Facebook page, it's going to say, would you like to boost this post? Never boost a post. Boosting a post is really throwing money away. Boosting a post is giving money to Facebook, because you don't get control. If you want control of your ads, you have to go to facebook.com/business/ads. That's where you get full control of your ads. If you're boosting a post, essentially Facebook is showing it to who they think that you want to show it to, but you don't really control it. Boosting a post over the past couple months has gotten more features, so you do get more control, but still, boosting a post is really throwing Facebook or throwing money away to Facebook. So never boost a post. If you want to boost a post, go into the Facebook business for facebook.com/business/ads and create an ad with that post. Don't just boost it, because now when you create an ad, you get full control of where that ad is shown. If it's shown on mobile, is it shown on desktop? Is it shown to Android users? What language, what cities, what states? The possibilities are endless, because Facebook knows so much about you and your history and what you like to do, where you live. If you're not using Facebook actively, if you use Facebook in the past and your friends are still posting or using or tagging you in pictures, Facebook sees that geolocation and they're able to know where you are. So they get really granular. They know your income. They know a lot of details, because people are giving away a lot of information in the past, not realizing that data, or that Facebook was taking all that data and just storing it. And now they could use that to put out really targeted ads. So if you are looking to run ads, Facebook has a lot of targeting options: interest, income, household size. You name it, there's a lot of them. I think actually income, Facebook took away a couple months ago. So things always change. Who knows if they'll put it back, but Facebook doesn't know all that data. So we'll just have to see what they let you do in terms of targeting, because the possibilities really are endless for the most part with what you could do with Facebook ads. And you could see Facebook full funnel solutions. There's a whole wide variety of things you can do with Facebook and Instagram ads, because Facebook and Instagram are together. If you log into that facebook.com/business/ads, that's where you could also set up Instagram ads. And just like in Facebook, same thing with Instagram. You don't want to boost a post. You really want to go into the ads manager and have full control. So if you are doing Instagram ads, you could use them for awareness, getting people aware of who you are. Facebook ads, you could do demand generation, you could do acquisition, meaning getting new leads, new email signups. Acquisition is also possible with mobile. There's transactional, so people make a purchase. If that's what you're trying to do, if you're an e-commerce website, you might want people just to buy directly. Here's a picture of some shoes. You click here, you could shop and make that purchase directly in the app right there, all in real time. You don't have to leave the platform, and they offer a lot of different experiences with ways you could shop on Instagram and Facebook. So if you're e-commerce, now I want to look at these different ways that you could set up Again, there's a lot of different options out there, but if you're e-commerce, you could have click to shop. So on Instagram, sometimes you're scrolling through a feed, you see a post, it says click here to shop. You'll see the prices pop up. You could just shop directly there in the platform. So there are a lot of different options out there. It just depends on your specific business, what your goals are. If you're selling a physical product, if you're a service-based business, what is it that your ultimate goal is? And you can find a strategy that will fulfill that and help you in terms of generating new clients and new leads and new sales. And so there's a lot of different types of ads that you can run on Facebook. Facebook has given you a lot of options, because the more options you have, the more likely you are to use one of those options, and that means you're going to be spending money. And when you spend money on Facebook, that means their stock goes up and everyone's happy. So Facebook wants to give you as many options as possible. So there are quite a few different types of ad types. And some are better than others. It just depends on your ultimate goal and what you're trying to do. So talk about some different types of ads and where you can place these ads. There's images and videos. Kind of the most straightforward standard ads is there is an image or there's a video. If you're scrolling through your news feed on Facebook, you could be scrolling through that feed. You might see a sponsored post. It says it really subtly, but it'll say sponsored. Those are the ads, and that's usually an image or a video. If you are going to run ads, I would try to do videos over images, just because videos tell a full story and people want to connect. They don't want to just see an image. Images, I mean, they work, but if you do a video over images, I'm pretty sure that's why Instagram became so popular, just because people want visual content. You can post pictures on Instagram all day long, but people are posting videos because that's what you want to see. So visual content, I see, is going to get the most engagement, and having video is going to be the best. So it's okay if you don't have video content, you can still do images, but I would try to look into it and think about running some video ads. I've tested it for myself, and I see that I get more conversions off videos, and it works extremely well for other people that I look at who run ads. So I would try to go with the videos. Again, you could just take, I mean, you don't have to make a professional video. You can just take your phone and just record. Nowadays, phones have pretty good cameras where you just make a video ad, throw that up on Facebook ads, and test it out. Again, no one knows what's going to work or what's not going to work. So don't hold any of these strategies to truth. You have to test. The more you test, the more you'll learn what's working and what's not working. Then you might realize maybe for your industry, images are what people want to see. They don't want videos. So maybe the images are where you want to go, but in general, people want that visual content. But test, because you never know how people are going to react and engage with your content until you throw it out there and see what happens. Are people receptive to it? Do they like it? Great, push more money to it. If people are not receptive to it, if they're not liking this ad, pull it back, stop it, tweak it, maybe change the targeting, change the verbiage, change the image or the video. Test, and never stop testing. Never just throw an ad up and leave it. You always want to be testing and A/B testing and seeing which one converts better. Testing your ads, testing the landing page. Where do you send people? How are they converting? Are they emailing you? Are they calling you? Are they filling out that form? Are they making a purchase? What's going on? Are they not doing any of this? Change that landing page and test. Can't stress that enough. That is the most important part of running ads, is not setting up one ad and leaving it, is setting up multiple ads, testing, seeing which one works, and pushing more money into that, pausing that didn't work, and then testing that new ad against a new variable, because you can never stop testing. There's always things and variables to test, to tweak, and see what's going to get you that higher conversion rate. Because the more conversions you get at a lower cost, the happier you're going to be, and the more money you spend on ads, Facebook's going to be happy, and everyone wins in that situation. So there's also carousel ads, where you can put up to 10 images or videos in a section. So instead of just having one image or one video, which I would say is better, but carousel ads work and hold their own place. Like if you're an e-commerce website and you're selling, let's say, tennis shoes, you might want to have 5 different pictures of the shoes. You might want to show the top, the sides, the bottom, and it's going to be hard to do that in one picture. So you could have a carousel ad with 10 or more images, or up to 10 images or videos. Again, a video would be a lot more effective instead of having 10 images, but it's all about testing. You never know what's going to work until you try it on your audience and see how receptive they are. If it works, push more money to it. If it's not working, stop everything and pull it back and rethink your strategy. And then there's collections. Collections are kind of a newer one. And this one is more immersive, where you could just, if you're on Facebook, I'm not sure if you've seen this yet. It's pretty new. So I've only seen it a few times, but if you see an ad and you click on the ad, instead of going to someone's website, you stay on Facebook and it just opens up into kind of like a page on Facebook, a new page where you can have a call to action. You could have forums in there. The benefits to this is you stay on Facebook, it loads really fast, so you don't have to worry about load time issues or anything like that. But the downside is they stay on Facebook. They don't go to your website. So they're only seeing one page, or I haven't used it too much, so I'm not sure if you could build out whole sites, but that might be something to play around with, test it out. This is something a little bit newer. So Facebook is always, again, putting new things out and pulling things away, because they want to give you as many options as possible and hopefully get you to spend those money on ads. That's really what Facebook's all about nowadays, is getting more ad revenue. And some of the places you could put these ads, you could do ads in like the news feed, which is like the most common place. If you're scrolling on mobile, you'll see ads that pop up every like 4 or 5 posts. There'll be an ad. These are news feed ones, but you could also do messenger ads. So people in the messenger, you can message people. So you could target people in their Facebook messages when they're messaging people. If you're on desktop, you could see it more prominently where there's ads in the messages that people send to you, not in the messages, but sometimes they'll be in ads. They're not that common, but they do appear. There's also, if you're on the desktop, there's a news feed, which is the most common place, but then there's also that right sidebar. So if you're viewing it on desktop, you'll see on the right-hand sidebar, there's these little banner ads. Most people never click those, but it's great for awareness, just keeping you top of mind, and it just helps it out a lot. So Messenger is a good one to check out, or maybe test out. It's not the most effective. The news feed is always going to be the best. That's where I run all my ads, and that's the only place I would ever run my ads. But they give you a lot of other places. You can do story ads, but stories, Facebook stories, it's a little new. Even Instagram stories, I wouldn't really recommend running ads in there, but again, test. You never know what's going to work. But in general, stories aren't really where people are looking to have an ad be intruded. People don't like the ads in the news feed, but they're used to it. Stories, that's something a little sensitive to some people, so you might want to test it out. But again, you never know what's going to work. I would try it if you want to, but if anything, I would just push all my money into the Facebook newsfeed. That's really the most effective. That's where I really utilize and go for, is putting Facebook ads in the newsfeed. I might even stop mobile ads, just because mobile doesn't always convert as well as desktop. People on a computer, it's easier to browse around. They're probably going to make a purchase, whereas on mobile, they're probably on the go. They're not looking for ads at that moment. Even on desktop, they're not really looking for ads. That's the only downside with Facebook ads, is these are more obtrusive. So Google ads, which is one I prefer, is people are searching on Google. They're actually showing intent. They're searching for your product or your services. They're typing in keywords, whereas on Facebook, you're targeting by interest and demographics, which you could target, but that doesn't mean they're actively looking for your product or service. Whereas someone's searching on Google, they're showing intent. So that's why Facebook ads, they're not the most effective. They're more for awareness, but they do work. It's just, it's not my ideal place in terms of running ads. But here you can see when you log into Facebook, you can do the carousel ads, you can do single image, you can do single videos, you can do a slideshow, you can do collections, and there's a whole variety of different different ads that you can put out there. And this is going to change constantly. So this is what it looks like right now, but who knows what it's going to look like in a few months or even a few weeks. Everything is really dynamic. That's what keeps digital marketing interesting to me, is that everything's constantly changing. There is no constant. It's always changing. So that's something that helps out. So these are different types of ads and the placements. But the only type of ad that I really like to do, or that I run, is remarketing. These are the only ads I run. These are the most effective types of ads. These are ads where someone's been to your website Let's target them with ads. So let's say you go on Amazon and you look at a product, you add to the shopping cart, but you don't check it out. You're going to see ads that follow you around the internet. Those are called remarketing or retargeting, different names, right? So you can see those ads all over different websites. That's all through Google Ads. But then if you're on Facebook, you might see those ads that follow you around on Facebook. That's called Facebook remarketing. Facebook, Google don't like one another. So if you want to have ads that show on Facebook, you have to do it separately. You can't just run ads through Google to get on Facebook. Facebook and Google do not like one another. They are big competitors. So remarketing is really, really effective. Let's say you go to my website, SEOoptimizers.com. You go to my website, and I have a form for these classes or a page about these classes. If you go to that page and you don't sign up for my class, I'm going to show you ads saying, hey, check out my class. It's a free class. Talk about digital marketing strategies. I'd love to see you there. So I'll remarket to those people. I also have remarketing where I have a free consultation. So I offer free consultations. If you've gone and done a free consultation, you're not going to get my ads. But if you have not done a free consultation, you're going to get my ads saying, hi, my name is Brandon from SEO Optimizers. Would you like to schedule a free consultation? So I have different types of remarketing ads for different audiences for people that have been to my website and visited specific pages. You set up these audiences. So let's say e-commerce is a lot easier because I'm a service-based business, and service-based businesses, you just got to figure out what your conversion goal is. But e-commerce, you could say anyone that's been to my website, gone to the shopping cart, but did not check out, follow them around with ads. These are called cart abandoners. These people were that close to making a purchase. They were on your website, they had something in the shopping cart, but they didn't check out. You want to keep yourself top of mind, maybe give them a discount. So give them a coupon code on these banner ads or do a video ad, but give them something incentive to want to make them want to make this purchase. And with remarketing, you have up to, I think, 540 days on Google. I have to double check on Google, on Facebook, how many days you can remarket to, but you can essentially remarket to someone that's been to your website in the past year. Again, there's a buying cycle. Like if you're selling tennis shoes, I don't think you want to run ads for those shoes for a year, maybe a couple weeks. So it just depends on your audience and what your product is and what you're selling, what your service is. But you make these custom audiences for people that visited pages or did not visit pages. And then you run ads to these people only. So instead of running ads just to general public, now you have audiences that people have been to your website. You segmented these audiences, and now you could remarket to them. You can also create lookalike audiences. So once you've exhausted that audience and you've remarketed or shown your content to people that visited your website in the past 30 days or 60 days, there's only so many people you could show your ads to. But Facebook will start learning about who your audience is, and they'll create what's called lookalike audiences, meaning Facebook uses artificial intelligence to find out who's converting from your ads and build a similar set of people based on their age, demographics. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. It's very, very complicated, but somehow Facebook is able to do this. So if you exhaust that list, you can run lookalike audiences, and this really results in more sales, more conversions, more emails, more phone calls, more purchases, because now instead of running ads, cold kind of ads, or you're just throwing your ads in front of people hoping they're interested, now you're throwing your ads in front of people. They're still not looking for your service actively, but they have been to your website. So you're going to keep yourself top of mind. A lot of people aren't going to click these ads, but it's more for branding, more for awareness. It keeps you top of mind so people don't forget about you. And they're just like, wow, I remember Brandon had that class from SEO Optimizers, did that Facebook ads class, and now I see his ad 6 months later, but now I am looking for SEO services, so I'm going to reach out to him. Otherwise, he might have forgotten about me because there's a lot of SEO companies out there. SEO Optimizers, it's easy name to forget 6 months from here, a year from now. So if you want to keep your traffic top of mind, check out remarketing ads. These are only ads I run for myself. I run remarketing on Facebook. I run it on Google, run it on YouTube, run it on Gmail, run it all over the place, because LinkedIn, because Twitter remarketing, because now I'm targeting people that have been to my website, not just cold emailing me or cold ads thrown at people. Like if you're not going on Twitter, scrolling through your feed, looking at SEO blogs, and then all of a sudden you see my ad, only if you've been to my website. If you have not been to my website, you're not going to see my ad because I'm not targeting you. If you've been to my website and then you're scrolling around Twitter looking for SEO information, you'll see my ad. But if you have not been to my website, you're not going to see my ads because I'm only targeting people that have been to my website. So remarketing essentially means you have a prospect, a visitor, goes to your website, then there's a pixel or a cookie dropped, or there's different ways to do it, but with Facebook, they have pixels that they drop and tag you. Then that person keeps browsing around Facebook, they're going to see your ads, and that helps get that visitor back to your website, and hopefully now they're going to convert. So this really is Facebook ads in a nutshell. There's a lot of other details and other things that go into Facebook ads, such as a landing page, making sure that's optimized for conversions, making sure you have a good call to action, making sure it loads fast, testing mobile versus desktop, making sure your website does look good on mobile before you start running ads on mobile, because you don't want to just run all these ads on mobile and just find out that 80% of the people that come to your website on mobile left immediately, which is called bounce rate, which is something that Facebook is not going to show you. So if you want to really look at the analytics, Facebook analytics is good, but you want to use Google Analytics. Google Analytics is going to tell you the full story of what's going on, what's working, what's not working. Whereas Facebook, they're going to show you, we got you 5,000 people that saw your ad, 300 people came to your website, but what happens after those people left you or went to your website? This is where Google Analytics is going to show you all that information. Facebook is not going to show you that information. So make sure you use Google Analytics. I have other classes I've done in the past about Google Analytics. If you just search my name, Brandon Leibowitz, you'll find some of those. But Facebook Analytics is good, but just doesn't tell the full story. So if you really want to know what's going on, got to use Facebook Analytics. Google Analytics, sorry. And that's going to show you the full story, full picture, what's going on from once they leave Facebook and go on your website. What do they do? How do they behave? Are they staying on your website? How many pages are they visiting? Are they converting? What's going on? That's where you learn all this information. So again, I did cover different types of ads. There's a lot of different types of ads, but if I had to pick one that I would recommend, it is Facebook newsfeed on mobile. So the newsfeed on mobile, meaning when you're scrolling through the feed, not on mobile, on desktop, sorry. So the Facebook newsfeed on desktop is the ad that I prefer, and really remarketing and utilizing videos if you can. That kind of summarizes everything in a nutshell, but there's a lot that you can see that goes into these ads. It's not as easy as just setting them up. You have to constantly be testing and optimizing. You don't want to just throw an ad up and leave it. Then you're just really bleeding money out to Facebook, and Facebook is happy to take your money. You need to be testing and constantly changing your ads, changing your landing page, and just tweaking it to get the most conversions, because that's really what matters, is how do you get those conversions, or how do you increase conversions? Because Facebook ads will drive sales, but if you're spending $500 to get a lead and that lead only turns into a $50 client, that's not going to last. So you gotta make sure that you drop that cost and really optimize and weed out the ads that are not working. Push more money into the ads that are working. That way you're not wasting money and bleeding money to Facebook, because a lot of people do spend money and it just kind of bleeds out there, and you gotta make sure that you keep it in and keep those costs down and keep those conversions high as high as you can. And so we'll get into some Q&A. I see a bunch of questions coming in, and let me jump onto these questions because I see I see a few came in, so let me try to cover everyone's questions. So Andrew, does your business Facebook page reference have anything to do with your personal page? No, so your business page and your personal page are kept separate, so you don't have to worry about that, Andrew. And Carolyn, how do I find out who left something in my shopping cart? You'd have to set up those tracking codes in Google Analytics or Facebook in custom audiences. So if you set up custom audiences, then you could go and really target and say, here's my shopping cart page, track this page. So it's all about tracking the URLs. So here's mywebsite.com/cart. And then you probably have a page that says thank you. So you can see how many people have gone to the cart but didn't get to that thank you page. And that's how you track all that stuff. And Charles, link building techniques. Yep. So I have classes that go in depth about that. Right now it's tough to really go in depth about link building, but there are a lot of different strategies. The main one is just blogging, guest blogging on other niche relevant sites and trying to get those authoritative links. But yeah, that's a whole nother topic, is how to guest blog posts, which I have covered in depth as well. And assume we are a web development agency focused heavily on making websites experiences for marketers. In your opinion, what are the top things that you expect from which websites will make your marketing experience easy? So I guess you're asking 5 things that I like or that make marketing easy. There's not really 5 things, there's too many. So I would just say go into my old videos like SEO, social media, email marketing. You want to have the full package to capture that traffic and capture those leads, make sure the website loads fast, make sure it's clean, it's optimized for conversions. And Ignacio, what is appropriate time to leave the ads up when you're doing A/B testing? And that really just depends on your budget. If you're only spending $5 a day, you're probably not going to get that many visitors. And the more traffic, the more statistically accurate this A/B testing will be, the better off you're going to be. Because let's say I'm running 2 ads and I'm running the same exact ads, but one of these ads is going to my website where it says add to cart. Another one is going to my website where it says buy now. If I'm only sending 100 people and one person clicked the buy now and 2 people click the add to cart, that's not really enough data to statistically be sure that you want to go with that one. So more traffic, that's really what matters. And so if you spend $1,000 in one day, I still wouldn't do it in one day, but I would try to do it over a month to really test it out, or a week at least to give it some time. But the more data, the more statistically accurate it will be. So it just really just comes down to how much traffic you're getting. And so how to reduce bounce rate. So bounce rate, 2 main factors. Bounce rate means how many people have gone to your website and left immediately. There's a lot of variables that go into that bounce rate. So it's going to be tough to really pinpoint one. I would say speed, how fast your website loads, how it looks on mobile versus desktop, just testing and testing and testing, and always testing your website and trying to optimize it. Because just like with your ads, you want to optimize those ads. You also want to test your landing page to optimize that landing page. And one other thing, if you do have a website, if you want me to check it out from an SEO point of view or just from an ads point of view, I can help out with Google Ads. So if you are looking for help with running remarketing ads, you want to set those up, reach out to me, seooptimizers.com/free. You can schedule a time with me and I can sit down with you and check out what you got in terms of ads or your SEO or your social media or whatever it may be that you're trying to help out or that you need help out with. And Adam's asking, I'm in a locksmith industry. What's the best way to be in top of the search? And just building good, high quality backlinks, kind of like what Charles is asking is, I have a question regarding backlinking to deep pages on branded anchor text, and make sure you have that good balance of anchor text and make sure you're not just linking to the home page. You have to just spread it out